Hey y'all. So, as you probably already know, the Notre-Dame Cathedral in Paris, France, is currently burning to the ground. It is both a historical, national, worldwide treasure, monument, cathedral. And so, yeah, that happened today. And so I wanted to talk about it a little bit and also some things that have been going on in France that you may or may not know about that I think is pretty relevant to this discussion. But anyway, so let me just tell y'all a little bit about the cathedral and what happened today. So this says Notre Dame spire and roof collapse as fire rages at iconic cathedral in Paris. So this is by CBSNews.com. The iconic spire at the top of the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris has collapsed after a major fire broke out Monday. Videos show part of the roof of the cathedral collapsing into itself as the fire rages on. Everything is burning. Nothing will remain from the frame, Notre Dame spokesperson Andre Fanat told French media, according to the Associated Press. But Monday evening, Paris Fire Chief Jean-Claude Gallet told reporters he believes firefighters have managed to save the cathedral's landmark rectangular towers from the blaze. A deputy mayor of Paris, Emmanuel Gregoire, said the cathedral has suffered colossal damages, but officials said emergency services managed to salvage some of the art and other priceless pieces stored in the cathedral. So this just goes on a little bit more to talk about this. French President Emmanuel Macron arrived at the site today to view the damages as firefighters continued what appeared to be a losing battle against the flames. And so photos and videos have spread across social media today. As you can see, picture here. There have been no deaths reported. Authorities have not yet released the cause of the fire or any further information as to how the fight to suppress the flames has progressed. The fire may potentially involve renovation works being carried out at the site, the fire service said. So the Vatican has responded. President Trump responded. Also, former President Barack Obama has responded. Basically, everybody is kind of, sad and coming out saying, how this is basically like a national treasure, and just well wishes to the French people. Well, several sources are reporting this as accidental so far due to the renovations. Now, I particularly find that interesting and very I don't even know the word I'm looking for. Very coincidental, okay? It's very interesting. The timing of it all, placed with everything that's going on in France right now. We are coming upon Easter. We're about 6 days away from Easter. This is Holy Week. Also, some things going on in France that you guys may or may not know. So this was March 21st, literally just weeks here ago. Catholic churches are being desecrated across France, and officials don't know why. France has seen a spat of attacks against Catholic churches since the start of the year, vandalism that has included arson and desecration. Vandals have smashed statues, knocked down tabernacles, scattered or destroyed the Eucharist, and torn down crosses, sparking fears of a rise in anti-Catholic sentiment in the country. Last Sunday, the historic church of Saint Sulpice in Paris was set on fire just after midday mass on Sunday, although no one was injured. Police are still investigating the attack, which firefighters have confidently attributed to arson. Okay, so here you have another historic structure, another historic Catholic church that was also set to fire. This was built in the 17th century. Last month at the St. Nicholas Catholic Church in north central France, a statue of the Virgin Mary was found smashed and the altar cross had been thrown on the ground. Also in February, it's St. Allen Cathedral in Lavore in South Central France. An altar cloth was burned, and crosses and statues of saints were smashed. So as y'all can see here, there have been several cases in France of historical and religious structures being put to blaze. Okay? So this has been happening. Our media has not been covering it, American media outlets, to really a great extent, but this has been happening, okay? Now, when it happens to be the Notre-Dame, a very well-known Catholic cathedral, now here we are talking about this. I think it gets millions and millions of visitors each year, and I would think they would have gotten several for this week going into Easter. Okay, not only that, let us also not forget about the Yellow Vest protest. As some of you may remember, I talked about this several months ago. Okay, you literally have your Yellow Vest protests that are going into their second 22nd straight weekend of protesting. Okay, here you can see the Yellow Vest protesters. Okay, leading to clashes with police in the southwestern city of Toulouse, which while the capital remained calm. Police used tear gas and water cannons to keep demonstrators out of the center of the city. French television showed parts of Paris and some regional cities were declared off limits to protesters following an eruption of violence last month when anarchists sacked and burned stores and restaurants. Okay, around 31,000 yellow vests turned out across France, including about 5,000 in Paris, according to Interior Ministry figures cited by AFP, up from about 22,300 last Saturday. French President Emmanuel Macron responded in part by holding a 10-week debate with citizens across the country on how to tackle France's problems. In the coming days, he's due to set his conclusions designed to take the heat out of the protests. Okay. So, y'all, these protests are really centered around high taxes that are going on right now. Prime Minister Edouard Philippe said on Monday, after he was presented with a study outlining the findings of the debate, that the clear message is that taxes must fall and fall fast. So a lot of people, okay, in France are mad. They're mad. It was actually people that felt like these protests were fizzling out. And so they were literally doing things to have the government to start taking more notice or to get the attention of the media. Okay. So they were setting things ablaze. And this has been happening for weeks. A lot of unrest there, just a lot going on. Now as y'all can see, this is the Notre-Dame. This is like a huge fire. That's a huge fire. For that to start just accidentally, I mean, it would absolutely have to be a freaking coincidence, okay? This is from Express Co. UK. Macron, and this was just a little over a month ago, Macron chief says Yellow Vest thugs want to break, burn, and kill. This was back on the 16th week. A lot of these people have been setting things ablaze, very upset with everything that has been going on. Okay, even to the point where I didn't even notice. I just learned this today as I was researching. But inspired, so shaken by the unrest, Mr. Macron's team has steadily toughened in its stance, branding the protesters agitators seeking to overthrow the government. Officials have also announced plans to introduce an anti-rioting bill to limit people's right to demonstrate. Inspired by legislation used to crack down on football hooligans, the new law will authorize prefects in charge of local regions to prevent people from taking part in protests if they believe they pose a serious threat to public order. Violators face a 6-month prison sentence and 7,500 euros in fines. Okay. The bill has already been approved by Parliament and will also follow fines of 15,000 euros and 1 year prison sentence for demonstrators who cover their faces to escape identification. All right. So not only this, how convenient. Emmanuel Macron was supposed to speak tomorrow to finally address and try to put a rest to these riots. But how convenient with this Notre Dame fire, he has postponed it. Okay. So as you can see, these are the yellow vest protests, and they've been burning and doing things here. Okay. So in in let me I also want to read this part to y'all on this other article. Let me go back and then I'll wrap up my point. All right, so I think there is a rising hostility in France against the church and its symbols, but it seems to be more against Christianity and the symbols of Christianity. These attacks are on symbols that are really sacred to parishioners, to Catholics. Desecration of consecrated hosts is a very personal attack on Catholicism and Christianity, more than spray painting a slogan on the outside wall of a church. She said that while France had a long tradition of secularism, it was seen as a culturally Christian country. And so any attack on a church as a symbol of religion was also an attack on authority and patrimony. The pressure is coming from the radical secularists or anti-religious groups, as well as feminist activists who tend to target churches as a symbol of the patriarchy that needs to be dismantled. So, about France, okay? You literally in France right now, you have people mad about the patriarchy. You have people mad about high taxes. You have people mad because there is a social and religious tension that is going on right now. You have people mad over the recent influx of immigration that is happening in France. Um, you literally have people mad about a lot, even including the Catholic Church. You had a high level ranking official just weeks ago, okay, that was convicted for hiding information about pedophilia that was going on in the Catholic Church. So I just find all of this very interesting. At this time, until I have the actual facts, I would say very, very highly coincidental, okay? But what I will say is this is very interesting because whether the Notre-Dame Cathedral has burned down, whether it be accidental or intentional, I just find it to be almost a very uncanny symbolic representation of the tipping point that France is going through right now. But we will wait on more information. We will see what happens. I feel like there are a lot of people upset and a lot of people with access to grind in Paris, France. So I will keep y'all updated. We will see what happens. Leave your thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.